Dan Perry here with another Dan on Tech video. In this video we're going to look at WAN technologies, and first we're going to look at some technologies that allow you to connect to the internet. These technologies could be used for both home or business. Now when we look at using them for business, business connections at the same speed as home connections are generally much more expensive. Well, what you're paying for there is you're paying for guaranteed service, faster response if there is a problem. Where if your home cable goes out, it may be hours or days before they come look at it. But if you have a business class connection, they may have a 4-hour response time. In other words, guaranteeing they'll have somebody out looking at the problem within, say, 4 hours. And for a business, that's important. Now, the oldest of these and slowest of these technologies is your dial-up or plain old telephone service, also known as public switched telephone network. This is dial-up. This gives you a maximum speed of 56 kilobits. And in today's internet that's really not fast enough to do anything. You really can't download images very well. Most websites are unusable. They would be so slow. But in some areas, it really is your only option. A faster option is Isdn, Integrated Services Digital Network. This uses your existing telephone lines. Isdn gives you 128 kilobits of connectivity. So faster speed, it's digital, so less errors, so it's a little faster from that standpoint as well. We have cable. Cable connections provided by your cable company such as Charter or Comcast. And cable connections can be anywhere from, say, 5 megabits today, used to be a lot slower, up to a gigabit or faster. In most areas, it runs anywhere from, say, 15 megabits download speed to about 60, with some areas offering faster. DSL, or digital subscriber line, also uses your existing telephone lines, but it provides a much higher speed, up to about 30 megabits download. Some areas you have fiber. If you're looking at business premises, there's a good chance fiber may be available. If you're looking at home systems, it will depend on the area. In Bristol, Tennessee, BTES offers fiber to the home as well as to business premises. Fiber optic gives you much higher speeds. In our area, again in the Bristol area, up to 1 gigabit of connectivity. In some areas such as Chattanooga, Tennessee, you can actually get up to 10 gigabits through their fiber connections. Now, you also use some of these technologies for dedicated lines connecting your company. You can use Isdn as a dedicated line. Again, it's slow. More likely, you would use maybe a DSL connection. If those connections are in the same area. If they're not, it may be DSL from your premises to the phone company premises. You don't know what kind of carrier the other end, and then whatever connectivity they have at the other end. A higher speed or a high-speed connectivity that is very traditional is the T carrier. You may hear terms like T1, T3. These are dedicated connections. They can be over fiber, copper, or actually microwave. The slower ones were typically over copper. When you get faster, you move to fiber optic cable. Pure T carrier today is not used nearly as frequently as it has in the past, but you may have a T carrier connection installed into your system, but you're paying for what's called frame relay. Frame relay operates over T carrier and also other technologies. And with frame relay, you have a lot more flexibility because instead of dedicated channels that T carriers have, you basically are having dynamic data. Your data is mixed based on whatever your needs. Where T carrier, you could divide that connection into telephone and into data. With frame relay, it's dynamic and it's based on what your needs up to whatever the maximum speed you subscribe to. So frame relay is used quite a bit today using those T carrier connections. In a lot of areas now, in addition to that frame relay, and it can be over your T carrier, it can be over SONET, which we'll talk about in a minute, or other connectivity, the internet providers or your WAN technology providers are offering carrier Ethernet. It's gone through a few different names: long haul Ethernet, Metro Ethernet, but today it's called carrier Ethernet. And essentially they are using Ethernet packets over whatever the underlying technology, whether that be T carrier, SONET, or something else. And typically the carrier Ethernet is a lot less expensive than some of the other technologies. SONET is an optical technology, uses fiber optics. Unless you're a very large company, you would not have a SONET connection direct to your company, but you would have a SONET connection into the area of your company, and then from there they would have your T carrier, your frame relay, your carrier Ethernet, the SONET being the very high-speed, expensive optical data transmission medium. And that's just a quick overview of some of the technologies you might have for connecting to the internet or connecting company locations via WAN technologies. Now, one thing when you're connecting company locations is there may be a mix or match. I may have from Bluntful to Johnson City carrier Ethernet, then that signal goes over frame relay to Memphis, and they may be using DSL to get to the location in Memphis. So it could be something in between or some mix and match of those dedicated technologies. Thank you for watching this Dan on Tech video. Please subscribe to this playlist so you don't miss future videos.